Good morning, everybody. This is John Seville from Acorn Wealth Corporation, and this is your executive summary for the first trading day of the week, the 17th of February 2015. Okay, so the S&P 500, we have one more week left until we reach open range Friday. So here's the key. We're, of course, still in the bullish nature of the market. The Twigs money flow is now making new highs in the recent history. And we have 1 week left as to what open range dictates where we should close, which is above the open range of February, being back here on the 2nd of a high of 2021. Now, we're a long ways off that, but we have broken out of this recent resistance zone here with obviously inclining days on the last two. Volume's also been increasing, slightly decreasing on Friday, 3.54 billion down from 3.8. And you can, of course, see that the candles are condensing. So tomorrow we could see a bit of a pullback in the early hours, coming back down a test on the 5-day exponential and horizontal support levels, but I'd expect that we probably still will remain bullish. Of course, with indecision around the situation in Greece, there's a bit of a calamity in the market, but how much impact that'll have probably won't end until the end of this week or the beginning of next. So, one of the telltale signs is, after looking at all my scans, all I could find was longs. So out of 22 things on my watch list, here are the ones that made the top. AKBA. Now this is a very speculative type of play, so kind of rather than playing penny stocks and pump and dumps, I'd prefer to play some of these kind of thinly traded but lucrative potential opportunities. AKBA is a therapeutics company. The market is hot on therapeutics and biopharmaceuticals, so this is why this was of interest. As a speculative play, I'm looking at this as a long from 940, a break of 947. We closed at 932, but 947 has us start cracking the high of this candle. I'm not too concerned with the high of that candle because it's already explained by this downtrend line you can see here, which we are now breaching through right there. So that's why the 947 price is important, and I'm looking at a target of 985 as the first potential stopping point. But there's more potential than that in this. This could just keep on going, so this is where I would reevaluate the trade, maybe take some profit at 985, but this could just keep climbing. Of course, if it's able to get through these layers of resistance and start an upward climb, we could be looking at a challenge of this area up here in the 1250 zone. So there's AKBA. RYAM, and by the way, on AKBA, there is institutional buying happening behind the scenes, as is with this one. RYAM Advanced Materials. So in the basic materials sector, they deal with specialty chemicals. And as a long on this one, I'm also looking at a potential entry here at 1765. So once again, looking for that kind of break of the resistance on the hourly chart. That kind of just has us popping through. You can see we've already had a bit of a consolidation zone here, which we seem to have broken above. Volume came in strong towards the final hour of Friday, and so if that continues to go higher, 1765, I'm looking for a move up to at least 1847 as my target one on Ryanair. And with Ryanair, they have both insider and institutional buying happening in those scenarios. Now, CVEO, these guys, oops, here we go. CVEO, these guys provide lodging to the oil and gas industry. So those of you looking for companies that aren't directly involved in pumping oil, these guys are kind of close to the scene, and of course they're not getting the prices they want for the accommodations because business has been drying up, so to speak. But CVEO has obviously come down a long way off its highs, and obviously again, another very speculative stock, but from a recovery standpoint, how cheap is too cheap? So CVEO is what I'm looking at for an entry at 403. So again, 387 is where we closed at. Let's just take a zoom in. So you can see 403 would just take us to a break of this high. Now, the less conservative way to play it, which I'm also happy with, and I think it'll depend on how the market opens, how bullish it is. But the other option, from the way I look at it, is actually just looking for a pullback then to the trend line here. There's also moving average support happening. So 385 to 387, which is where we kind of closed, would be a less conservative option for an entry if things are looking bullish at the open. which currently we should do for a little bit of a pullback and then a rally. In terms of targets, I think this can drive up to at least 432, so there's good profit potential on the upside as well. Okay, now last on the list of longs is SAIA. It made my list last week. Was just wanting to kind of watch it a little bit further though. These guys deal with trucking. From I think it's from £1,000 to £10,000. Once again, kind of been a beaten up stock, and you can see it's just kind of rounding the bottom here. Now this is just peaked through its moving averages. It went from 330,000 volume to 432, so the volume did increase, which is what we want to see. Wasn't huge, but big enough to at least not look too much like a fake out. Now on this one, I'm looking for a bit of a pullback to the moving average. I think it should. So rather than looking for it to break the price, the moving average support seems fairly strong beneath. So I'm looking for a pullback here to 46. Excuse me. No, I'm misreading my writing. Sorry. I am looking for a breakthrough on here, 46.14. Let me just take the cursor here. So you can see basically we breached through this system. So we've got a new trend starting here. We've got a breach of that system. So looking for a support point, I'd be looking at this area. Let's see if we can find some evidence of that. Here we go. Yeah, so we've got this key support shelf here, so it should probably stay above that. So you may be able to snag it even at 45.14, or wait for the break at 46.14. And in terms of how far that could reach, let's go back to the daily chart. There's a nice bit of room and up to the moving average here, which is at 48. So we've got about a good 8% potential move there from 45, 46 up to 48. And if it has some real strength, we could be looking at a reach up to here in the 49 area. But 48's what I would be concentrating on target-wise, just because of the risk reward of that extra dollar for how much profit one would have already made, which would be 3 or 4. Now, 2 shorts to finish things up, because I always like to look at both sides of the market. But GME, this is one that these guys are kind of brick and mortar, kind of it's where you can go buy your Monopoly games and so forth. GameStop. And so these guys haven't really been able to perform very well under the recent market conditions. They're still kind of top lining, and they're under a heavy set of moving averages. You'll see that when I bring up my default chart. Look at that. That is a cream pie with every level of strength against you that you don't want. That's layer caking, and this could quite easily have a decent drop. So I'm looking for it's 37.35 now. I'm looking for a breach of 36.36 with a very short-term target of 34.91. But it's entirely possible, I think, that we could find ourselves right back down at this level here, which is 33.38. And the final one, KNDI. This has got some decent guts to it. It's if you look at it on the hourly chart, you can see that we've kind of been performing pretty haphazardly. The moving averages are also layering on top. We've broken through all those short-term moving averages on the hourly chart basis, and so this would be a breakthrough play as well. I'd be looking for a breach of breach of 12.06, and looking for a target of 11.37. You can see this is kind of where we have the 50% Fibonacci coming in, 38% Fibonacci coming into play. And then the other one down here at 10.93, so I'd be looking at a secondary target of 10.87. If we actually go back a little bit, you can see that that would take us down to essentially the same level here. Where are we? There we go. Same level here where we had previously had significant support bouncing off of this zone. So we want to be cautious of that. So 2 areas to look for. And that brings you your executive summary for today. So I hope that everyone has a great start to the week, and we'll see you in the next executive summary. Take care and have a great day.